Hi guys, and today I'm going to share with you some content that I created in collaboration with MotorOverload. Please go check out MotorOverload. I'll put all the links in the description below, but search for MotorOverload on YouTube and subscribe to that. Search for MotorOverload on all the social media channels, and also go to motoroverload.com, and there you can find, I think, links to just about everything. I do a lot of stuff there as well, so do follow us there as well, along with Kevin Haggarthy, who is my partner over there. So check out this piece of content. This is a video that we did on the best sleeper cars to buy. Sleeper cars, they are the sort of cars that you wouldn't realize that they're actually about performance and driving enjoyment. So they're called sleeper cars, they're called qcars, they're called wolves in sheep's clothing, if you like. This is how we refer to them in the video. Go check it out and see if you agree with our choices. Before you do that, make sure you're subscribing to youtube.com/browncarguy. Follow me on all social media channels. Just search for #browncarguy. You can see it on my hat there. And of course, subscribe to browncarguy.com. Cool, let's get into this.
Welcome again to Motor Overload, and this time round we're going to be talking about qcars. But what exactly are qcars, Shahzad?
Well, qcars are those wonderful machines that are two things. They look like ordinary mundane cars, so something that you go to work in or go to the shops in, but actually they're performance vehicles. They're fun to drive, they're exciting, but not everybody is supposed to know about them. We call them qcars, we call them sleepers, or we could call them wolves in sheep's clothing. Now, as usual, let's do this in categories. So let's do this budget-wise this time. We'll choose cars in prices up to £10,000, and then say 10 to £40,000, and then 40,000 plus. So Kevin, what would be your ultimate Q car for less than £10,000?
I found a beautiful BMW 330 diesel, the M line, which basically means it's more sporting to drive, for about £8,500, and I thought that has to be the car, because that car, to me, you just look at it from a distance and you think, yeah, diesel BMW doesn't look particularly fast or exciting, but when you get behind the wheel and it drives like a BMW, in the days when BMW made it very clear that their ultimate driving machines, the back wheels are to power the car, the front wheels are to steer it. You can jump in that little car, do everything practical in life, not even sacrifice anything as far as the family and the kids are concerned, and have a fantastic time anywhere. On a motorway, it's got all that torque. On a B road, it's got all that handling, and it's like, that's a have your cake and eat it car for under £10,000. So what would be your choice, Shahzad?
I get the whole BMW thing, but diesels? Yawn, man, no way. I'll tell you what, I've been looking back through the annals of British automotive history, and do you remember the Rover 75? Well, they made those from 1999 to 2005, and in the last year of production, 2004 to 2005, they did something crazy. They stuck a V8 in the front of it and turned it into a rear-wheel drive monster. Now, what they would do is they'd take them off the production line, they'd restructure the chassis to make it rear-wheel drive, they'd put a 4.6 Ford V8 engine into the front. This was from the Ford Mustang. They'd upright the suspension and brakes and put it back on the production line. So the trim and everything would be identical to the regular cars. They did it as a Rover 75 or an MG ZT, and you could get it as a saloon, an estate, in manual or in automatic. Now, admittedly, since they only made 900 of these, they're quite rare. So although I really fancy a 260 brake horsepower Rover 75 or MG ZT, they're quite hard to find, but I did find two MG ZTs for less than £10,000. So to me, I think that would be the ultimate sleeper car, if you like, for under 10K. So let's move on to the 10 to 40,000 pound category. What would be your choice in that category?
Well, for me, this was the easiest category for us, because the magical figures of 350 Newton meters of torque, 227 brake horsepower and 62 miles an hour in about 6.5 seconds, you would not think of the Skoda Octavia. That is the one for me, the Skoda Octavia VRS, the four-wheel drive version of a super performance car that actually looks as average as anything you can imagine. In fact, those cars are actually known for their fantastic rear accommodation, loads of space, massive boots. But hey, that car is a serious performer, and carrying the label Skoda, give me a break. That is the kind of car which, if you're sitting next to somebody at the traffic lights and you're not really in a very good mood and they give you a sneaky look, you won't do it if you're well behaved, but if it's a bad day, they wouldn't see you for dust.
Yeah, that's a pretty good choice. I've got to admit, Skoda is not a car that you expect to be something that's going to be quick. Now, I'm going to stick with the Audi Volkswagen group because Skoda falls into that, doesn't it? And I'm going to go for something, you said 227 horsepower. I'm going to give you 360 minimum and up to 395. I'm talking about the Audi RS3. Now, brand new, these are £45,000, but you can pick up used cars. The saloons I'm talking about in particular, from 2015 they were introduced with 360 horsepower for £35,000. In terms of looks, apart from the side skirts and maybe the wheels, there's not a lot of differentiation between these and say the S3 or even the regular Audi A3. It's a diminutive little saloon, and to most bystanders they wouldn't suspect anything until you got in, grasped that Alcantara lined steering wheel and started this thing up, because then it just barks at you and people jump out of their skins. It is an absolute performance rocket. I love this car, I love driving it, and that would be my choice in this category. Let's move on to the 40,000 plus category. What would you choose there?
Well, I'm wondering whether the Audi VW group have just got this little bit of a secret here and know what they're doing in this respect, because I'm going to stick with that same brand, because to me, above 40 grand, I can't think of anything that can outperform an Audi RS6 Avant. I'm not talking about the new one because the new one looks mean. But the previous version, goodness me, it looks as boring as anything. And what I like about qcars, and I'm sure this is one of their appeals, is you can use them for anything. So you can even use this car to move the furniture around. But with the car that can do 60 miles an hour in 3.5 seconds, and that beautiful 4.2 litre V8, it's just phenomenal. This is a car which, to me, is at least as fast as any Ferrari I remember driving recently, and I think it's just a stonking performer. And for barely 60 grand, you can get this car, sit in it, and everybody would think, well, he's driving his granddad's car. But no, it's one hell of a performer, and that would be my choice over 40 grand.
So I'm quite persuaded by your argument on that one. And I'll tell you what, if that's a granddad's car, he's going to be the fastest granddad on the planet. But I'm trying to go even more Q car, more sleeper car. And I think that something that you wouldn't expect performance out of would be a family SUV. Something that, you do the school run in, right? So I'm thinking Jaguar FPace SVR. Now, in terms of looks, it just looks like an F-Pace, right? Except it does have side vents and it has bonnet vents, but that's the only difference. It has a 5-litre supercharged engine with 550 horsepower. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds and reach 176 miles per hour. So it is mental bonkers fast. But it looks like an ordinary SUV, and from outside, who would know the difference? You can get those new from £75,000, but used, they're already on the market from just £60,000. I say just 60, that's a lot of money, but that's still, I think, slightly less than your RS6. I've got to say though, the RS6 is a pretty convincing argument. So if we had to select an overall winner, what would you say, Kevin?
All I'd say is take your points about the SVR, but if you put the SVR here and you put the RS6 beside it, which do you think people think is going to be the fastest, highest performing car of the two? I know which one I would think. I think it's the SVR. But hey, guess what? The secret of the performance is on the other side. It's the RS6. So for me, it's the RS6.
It's a good thing that you said that it was going to be the previous RS6 Avant, because the new RS6 Avant does look very aggressive. The moment you see it, you know that's a performance piece. But I think you're right. I wouldn't say the old RS6 was boring looking. I really like them. But they do look quite ordinary as compared to, say, even the SVR F-Pace. So, yeah, all right then. I'll give you that one as well. I think the overall choice for our ultimate, call it a Q car, call it a sleeper car, call it a wolf in sheep's clothing, would have to be the Audi RS6 Avant previous generation. That would be our choice.
We're agreed. Are we going to high five on the screen?
There you go.
We got it. Something we've agreed on again. Fantastic. So there we go. That's our favourite sleeper car. And we're hoping you're going to tune in to us again on motoroverload.com. So Shahzad, any final thoughts?
No, I think we've got it spot on. All I would say to our viewers is to make sure that they're following us on all the social media channels. It's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Of course, subscribe to motoroverload.com and this channel on YouTube. I'll tell you what, Kevin, I think it's about time we got out and about again, don't you think?
We are getting serious cabin fever and I need to go out with you and drive some cars. Big time.
We're going to be doing that soon, so stay tuned and hit the notification icon so you don't miss any of our videos.
Until the next time.
So there you go. Did you agree with those choices and with our overall choice? Tell me what you think is the ultimate sleeper car for those budget categories if you like, or just generally in fact, and put them in the comments above, below, elsewhere, wherever, and tell us what your ideal cars were. Hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, make sure that you're following Motor Overload on all of the channels. All the description, so the links are in the description below, but you can just search for Motor Overload on YouTube and on social media and you will find. Make sure you follow, but also follow and subscribe to youtube.com/brown car guy and follow me on social media. Just search for brown car guy, #brown car guy on all of the channels. Subscribe to browncarguy.com, and if you enjoy my video content, and you can, then think about supporting me on patreon.com/shahzadsheikh, and there you'll find some exclusive content and also perhaps some goodies like this hat. So check it out. Even if you can't do that, please continue to like, share, subscribe and comment and all the rest of it. That's much appreciated, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.